Hello, everyone. I'm Colleen Vanderzyden, and this is Creating an Inspired Life. It's all about you and what you can do to help yourself live your best life. I am a medium, and I connect in with our loved ones on the other side, and I'm also a certified intuitive life coach. And with that, I help people with the problems they have in their lives. And the intuitive part is throwing in some of the communication from the other side. Every now and then that does come in. Today's coaching tip is all about having a limited perspective and some thoughts on reclaiming your power. I love to play this online game on occasion. I don't have a lot of time, but I like to play this online game that has definitions for several words. And below the definitions are 20 boxes that have fragments of the words. The point is to put the fragments together to form the words. These definitions are not always helpful. So I've taken to just kind of looking at the fragments and seeing what words I can put together and then trying them out. Sometimes these words are easy to see and sometimes they're not. The other day I got stuck on a word. The only thing I could see was refictor. Refictor is not a word. And when I looked at it finally took me forever to realize refictor was really terrific. This wasn't the first time I couldn't see an obvious word. And this also wasn't the first time I couldn't see something that was right in front of me. When I was teaching, I would have orchestras, and the students would gather up where I was standing with their instruments so I could tune them all. So I would have 30, 40, 50 kids standing around me. I'd tune one instrument, pass them on, do the next. Usually I was looking for a certain student while I'm doing this because I had something to say to them or some message to give them. So I would be looking around the room for this student. Finally, I would say, has anyone seen Rachel? Does anybody know what Rachel is? And invariably, Rachel, the person I'm looking for, was standing right in front of me. These two examples are silly little examples, but demonstrate how we can have a limited perspective on what's happening in our lives. All of the pieces are right in front of us, but we don't see them. We can't put it together. Something is influencing our perspective to limit what we're seeing. Years ago, I was driving back to my sister's house in Vermont after having visited my father in New York. It's only about a 30-minute drive, so it's not a big deal, but I don't live in that area, so I was really insecure with my directions. This was before I had a GPS. I was relying on these written notes that my sister had given me. I have no sense of direction at all, so I was really concerned about getting back. I was concerned I was going to get lost. I was so stressed out and worried about this that when I saw a sign that said Vermont and had an arrow pointing left, I immediately turned. Unfortunately, I hadn't paid attention to what was right in front of me, and I turned in front of an oncoming truck, creating a head-on collision. In this case, I literally did not see a gigantic truck that was right in front of me. My view was limited by my worries. I was absolutely not seeing clearly because I was so stressed. In this case, I paid for my limited perspective with my injuries. I had a totaled car. It was lovely. Time off from teaching and performing. It did take several months for me to heal. Now, when we have this limited perspective, we do end up paying for it in some way. My accident affected me physically, mentally, emotionally, and of course, financially. I couldn't see what was in front of me because of that stress and worry, really over something that wasn't even that important. If I got lost, so what? I did have a phone. I could have called somebody. I would have found my way eventually. Our minds are very tricky. They can send us on paths we don't want to be on. They create our stress and worries. The mind creates stories about ourselves, about our situations that may or may not be true, which cause us distress. Our mind sees what we want to see, and we don't notice the facts of the situation. We're not seeing clearly. We might not see the 10 drinks our partner is having every single day. The facts may be there, the empty bottles in the recycle bin, or him missing events because he needs to stay home and relax, which is code for drink. But yet we don't see what's right in front of us. We may not notice the signs of a leaky roof. We may not notice the signs of an imminent layoff. We might not notice the signs of a new job opportunity, something we've been thinking about, but we don't notice it because we just aren't focused on it yet. Or we might not notice the person who's sending us signals that they're interested in us and maybe want to start a relationship with us. But more importantly than having a limited perspective on our life situations is having a limited perspective on who we are. We don't see our greatness. We don't see our wonderful qualities. I'm not talking about the egotistical, narcissistic person who believes the life, everything, the whole world revolves around him. I'm talking about the person who hides who they are, who hides their light, who doesn't speak their truth, who allows other people to negatively influence them in such a way that they don't feel safe. They feel insecure. They might feel judged, criticized, and eventually, if not sooner, not good enough. They can't see their own greatness, and they don't realize that they have the power to change their lives. You're responsible for how you experience your life. I've said this probably a million times. Don't let anyone tell you you aren't good enough. Don't let yourself tell you you're not good enough. When I was younger, I had a Sunday school teacher tell the class that being proud of ourselves was wrong. Now I understand what she was saying. She was saying not to be egotistical or boastful, that kind of thing. But when I was younger, and I was probably in fourth grade or something, what I heard was, don't acknowledge your good traits. Don't be happy with who you are, which turned into, other people's opinions are more important than mine. This turned into a belief that I shouldn't trust myself because I should rely on other people to kind of reflect back to me who I am and if I'm important enough or whatever it is. And when I don't trust myself, I don't believe in myself. And with all of these things, I ended up giving away my power. And this lasted for so long. I did this forever. And it took a long time to reclaim that power that I deserved and that I actually have. For years, I've been teaching people they have the power to change their lives. For years, I've been doing this. Don't look to other people to tell you how to live your life. Don't allow others to negatively influence you. Be responsible for who you are and how you live. If you don't believe you're good enough, and I know all of us have a little bit of that inside ourselves, but if you don't believe you're not good enough, you have a limited perspective. You're not seeing what's right in front of you, how awesome you are, how great you are, that you have this power to live life on your terms. If you're not living true to yourself, which is the key for everything, if you're not living true to yourself, you will pay for it in not feeling good enough. You'll be miserable and you'll feel like something is missing. And what is missing is your connection to yourself, your inner being, your inner essence, your soul. You'll be missing that connection. So look at what's right in front of you. You are the awesome person who deserves to have the life you want. Life is too short to not be yourself and to not live the life of your dreams. Stand up for yourself, reclaim your power. And the answer for this is just to always be you. Once you're you, you will be living the life you want and you will be reclaiming your power. That's my coaching tip of the day. And I have a cat who has joined me. Stop chewing that cord. You want to see the cat for a minute here? Here's the cat, the baby. Yes, go away, little baby, right now. So you can connect with me at psychicmediumcolleen.com, and you can also connect with me on Facebook, Colleen Vanderzyden, Medium and Intuitive Life Coach, and I would love to hear from you there. We are going to go to our first caller, who is Francine from Virginia in the United States. Francine, how are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing quite well, thank you. How can I help you today?
You see anything for my love life?
Your love life, the favorite thing that everybody wants to know about. We always want to know about our love life. Now, I'm not really feeling anybody around you now. Do you have somebody around you in your life now as a partner or a relationship?
Well, it's distant.
It's a distant relationship. Okay, that would make sense then to me because I don't feel somebody like right there with you. So that would make sense. Now, and tell me if this is true too, because I'm getting the impression that you guys really don't see each other that much. Is that true?
That is so true. Yep.
Oh, yeah, I don't like that because you know what it is to me and how it feels to me is I don't feel like you're the relationship. I don't feel like the relationship is moving to the next level because you're not seeing each other enough. It is interesting to me. Tell me if you're the person, because this is what it feels like to me. Are you the person that seems to be making more of the effort? Are you the one that reaches out more frequently or goes there to visit?
I mean, I reach out more, and if we set up to go somewhere, like you have an event going on, I always have to go to him. He don't mind picking me up, but most likely I go to
Yeah,
him.
yeah, it's interesting because it's feeling very a little more one-sided than I would like it to be, because it seems like you're doing the bulk of the work. Um, so that's a little interesting. And of course, we have to take into consideration everybody's job situations and whatever else is going on in our lives. But at the same time, I wonder about that. And I'm also wondering too about interesting, about how much you reach out to him, and I'm wondering if and the thing is, tell me if this is true. I feel like when you reach out, he does respond, though. Is that correct?
Yes, you do. Like he did
Okay.
call me just a while ago, but I'm on the phone with you.
Okay, well, priorities, that's cool. Yeah, and it is interesting too because what I'm feeling, which is very interesting, is I want somebody to move, okay, to get closer here. I want somebody to move, which is a good sign because when I'm feeling this gives me the impression that the relationship has someplace to go, that it's going to develop further. Have you been talking about one of you moving and getting a little bit closer?
No, he lives in Hampton. I am moving after Thanksgiving, still in my
Okay,
area, but
still in your
yeah,
area, but not closer to him.
no.
Okay. Because I want to get you guys a little bit closer still. Okay. I want to get a little bit there. I'm glad you're moving because it's always fun to move and be in a new place and all of that. But I still want it to be closer. The thing is, what I get a bit of on your part, a bit of frustration about where this is really heading. Have you been questioning this direction?
Yep.
Yeah, and it seems to me that the potential for the relationship is there, but it's not going to continue getting better unless there's more action on his part and we get together more frequently. And again, I know there's other issues, and sometimes it's hard to do that. But this is interesting. Have you guys been together like 6, 8 months or something? How long has it been?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, because it doesn't feel that long to me. And the reason I ask is because when I reach 12 months, when I'm looking at this, that's when I feel like you make a decision. Either we're going to keep going or not. I feel like some of the impatience kind of comes up a little bit more like, where is this going? You can't have I mean, you can have a long distance relationship for the rest of your life if you want to, but I'm not feeling that that's what you want. Okay. So it seems to me that the turning point for you would be at 12 months. So in a few more months that you'll have reached this point where you say to yourself, you know what? I don't know. I'm really not sure. And you'll make a decision on what to do. Do you know, before I let you go, do you know that there's somebody around you who is interested in you right now?
What, like a coworker or somebody from my past?
And somebody who's in your physical vicinity who is actually interested in you right now. Okay, this is what I'm
You got,
feeling. You do
you
it.
got like, you got initial?
No, I don't have an initial or anything. I can just feel somebody around you who is interested in you. And, there's the impression I'm getting with that is that might be something to kind of open your mind up to a little bit. it doesn't mean you have to go out with a person, but just to open your mind up and just kind of check the area as well, because there is somebody who is interested in you. So this is interesting to me. I love this stuff. So within the next 2 months or so, I'm feeling like that's going to become even more apparent. So then it will be up to you to decide what you want to do with that. If somebody's interested in you and they're not a nice person or they're a jerk or something, then obviously don't go out with them. But if it's somebody that, you think, oh, that might be interesting, just to talk sometime and just see if you have something in common. But there is somebody around you who is interested in you. So I do want to make sure I tell you that. Well, Francine, I'm going to let you go so I can move on to my next caller. So good luck with this. It seems like you've got some decisions coming up in the next few months. It'll be interesting to see how this all works out for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling. It was nice talking to you. And that was Francine from Virginia. Our favorite thing to talk about all the time, isn't it, when we call somebody, is about our love lives. It's one of the most favorite things we ever do. We will go on to our next caller, who is Jacqueline in Virginia as well, in Chesapeake, Virginia. Jacqueline, how are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. How can I help you?
I'm actually trying to see if you can help me in the right path and way for guidance. I'm in a really lost area with a lot of areas, and I just want to know if I'm going into the right direction for a much happier way of lifestyle.
Okay. And the feelings I get around you is loss. Okay. Did you lose your job or something like this? That's something that was big and has set you on a different path or something?
My daughter's going through a lot of mental illnesses, and I have no way of income. I'm struggling.
Okay, yeah, because it feels like loss to me. And if your daughter's having issue, I'm sorry to hear that, because that is so difficult, because you can't fix it. You can just be there and support. So that's definitely an issue. And then, of course, if you're having financial stuff too, that's also the thing. What I am also feeling immediately is a greater sense with you of spirituality and being connected to a God. Have you noticed that you're starting to pray more or connect to God more? Have you noticed the spirituality about you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And this is a very important thing for you, because you do have a belief system there that there is something that can guide you, can help you, that can bring you strength. And with this feeling comes the sense of you basically surrendering and starting to move into the idea that life is going to work out the way it's going to work, and that you can't always control and fix things. So you're starting to move in this surrender mode where you just it's kind of like giving up, but it's giving up with a trust that you're going to be helped. And now this is interesting. Do you happen to have a church nearby you that you go to? Do you go to church regularly or anything?
No, I don't. I did as a child, and it is close to me, but no, I don't attend the church.
Okay. And it's interesting. The reason I'm asking is not so much for you to attend, because I'm feeling a job opportunity connected to a church. Okay. A job opportunity connected to a church. I don't know what this means, if it's they have some kind of program that helps people connect to jobs, or if you're literally hired by a church. So if you're looking for a job, keep everything in mind, even if you see that there's a connection with a church or whatever there, because there seems to be something there with this. It's definitely a different message than I usually give people. And actually, I can tell you, I've never told anybody that before. So there's something to that as well. For you also, you have this ability within you to always want to do what's best for other people. I get the impression you're a very loving person and you're a very caring person. And I also get the impression that you would do anything for anyone. Are you like that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and this is beautiful, because you have that giving heart, And because you have that giving heart, you also have a sensitivity that goes with it, where you feel very deeply what's going on with your daughter and with other people, but also you feel very deeply for yourself because you do have a great deal of empathy, and you can pick up on other people's energies as well. Have you ever noticed that when you're someplace that all of a sudden you may have been feeling great and then you're not feeling good? Do you know you pick up on other people's energies?
Yes, ma'am. I've known for a while.
Awesome. Awesome. And this is such a great quality to have in a person because you are, even if you can't physically change a situation, whatever's happening, you can't physically change it. Just because you have this ability to touch into other people's energies and you have that positive, loving energy about you, you are actually helping other people feel better just by your energy, by your presence alone. And this is a beautiful thing. This is a beautiful ability that you have to help people. Have you ever looked into doing any kind of healing work, being a healer?
Absolutely. Yeah, I actually have medical degrees, and I've ventured into different stuff that I'm actually trying to learn more about.
Awesome. Awesome. I am looking at a couple of different forms of healing right now that you might want to investigate or Google. I am seeing things like quantum touch. Quantum touch is an awesome form of healing. I'm also seeing reconnective healing. And those two forms of healing and all forms of energy healing are pretty much the same, but there's different angles. Sometimes we'll do sound healing with people or whatever. There's just different ways. But these two, for whatever reason, come to mind for me, for you, as a way to help you channel your energy through. There's also a form that people use who are in the medical field called therapeutic touch, and you may be interested in that one as well. Because what you can do, especially with your daughter's situation, having some issues there, you can send her healing from a distance. You don't have to be right next to her. And it solely can be done with your intention. So you could, just sit there for a few minutes and just send her positive energies. That's basically what healing is. Awesome. I'm loving this. Now, I want to also mention sometimes when we're doing healing work, we may feel some tingling in our hands. And that just means the healing energy is coming through you. You want to make sure when you're sending positive energies and stuff, that the energy is coming from God, from spirit, and that you're not using your own energy. Okay, so you want to set an intention that you're getting it from God. So you're actually being a channel of healing. When you do that, you'll be able to do healing longer, and you will find that problems in your life don't affect you as much because you're not depleting your own energy. And this will be very important for you as you're navigating through these issues that are happening right now. And it's awesome how you're doing this. And okay, are you having your daughter move back in with you or something?
No, she just got admitted into the mental health hospital this morning. So she's just now, this is her first night away from me.
Okay, is she usually with you?
Yeah, she lives with me. I have full physical custody of both my children.
Okay, that makes sense because I wanted to have her moving back in with you, so that means she's coming back. Okay, I'm glad you told me because I was like, well, I don't understand. So I get it now. So this is fine, okay, what's happening with you and how you are doing things. And I know this has got to be such a huge struggle for you. But I can tell what a strong person you are. Now, I am a little bit concerned because I'm not feeling you getting a lot of support from people around you now. Okay, I know there's a couple people, but is there anybody in particular that's not supporting what's happening, not supporting you, not on your team, so to speak?
Oh, yeah, there's a few. More so my mother.
Okay, because I want more people around you supporting you. You're strong, but that doesn't mean you can handle everything all the time. And sometimes you just need.
That's the struggle that I'm going through right now.
Yeah, we need to get some. And we have to get some people
And
around to help.
way that you can feel if my grandmother's around me, because I've been told that I have more support on the other side than I do here in the physical.
That's an interesting comment because, yes, your grandmother is definitely around you, and she's somebody you should be talking to if you're not regularly, because she can give you guidance, she can give you inspiration, she could lead you on your path, she could show you wherever you need to go. So you just make sure you're talking to her. I feel her around you very strongly right now. I mean, very strongly. So it seems like she's going to try to guide you as much as possible. And the impression I'm getting too with her is that there's no problem with you limiting your time with the people who are not supporting you. You don't have the energy for that, you don't have the time for that, and you can't deal with it. So if you can limit your time a little bit with the people who don't support you, that will help you keep your energy in your body, and you will not.
That's what I've been teeter-tottering because I need to. It's hard for me to not be around my mother as much, but I can't watch her destroy her life as she is, and my children get it as well.
Exactly. And I only have just a few seconds left, but yes, that is exactly right. So there's no problem with you doing that. So you do it. So Jacqueline, I will send you lots and lots of prayers and lots of positive energy as to help you get through this. So thank you so much for calling, and I'm so happy I got to talk to you, and lots of love to you.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome. And that was Jacqueline from Virginia. It's always so difficult when our children are going through some kind of an issue, isn't it? So I want to thank you all for watching and listening. It has been my pleasure to be here with you. I'm so happy to have been speaking with you tonight. You can connect with me at psychicmediumcolleen.com as well as on Facebook, Colleen Vanderzyden, Medium and Intuitive Life Coach. You guys have a great week and enjoy the upcoming winter. Goodbye.